Did I do it wrong?
What?
Did I
Oh,
do it?
no, he
no,
called me
sorry.
my Insta name, and
Oh.
I'm
Oh,
not
sorry.
for that.
Okay.
That's okay. Okay. The claim I'm responding to is chronic exposure to erratic emissions of RF energy is detrimental to the health of living organisms. My opponent's claims were that the legal disclaimers and safety precautions regarding that there are legal disclaimers and then regarding cell phone use, and that RF exposure inhibits vital functions of living organisms. And then, although my opponent's claims are accurate, she only mentioned RF exposure in the form of cell phones, which ultimately did not match her claim, which was chronic exposure to RF in general is detrimental to the health of living organisms. But throughout the speech, she only talked about cell phone use. So, but I looked into it and I found that there are other ways that RF can get to you and harm you. And for example, according to the Health Physics Society and specialists in radiation protection, RF also happens in broadcast antennas, for example, TV and radio broadcasts, portable radio antennas, for example, walkie-talkies, point-to-point microwave antennas, such as like remotes, and satellite systems and radar systems. And so adding extra examples would have given her a stronger argument ultimately in the end, and it would have supported her claim since she would have had like a wider variety. And then her first claim, her proposition. Her first claim regarded the iPhone having a disclaimer on RF exposure, and then her provided evidence diminished her argument in the aspect that she only gave step-by-step instructions on where to find the RF disclaimer on your iPhone. But she also gave the safe levels of the RF in iPhones, and they never exceeded the levels, so I feel like that wasn't good enough evidence. She later questions why there would need to be a disclaimer and how many people actually knew about it. Questioning does always, I think questioning does work in providing a better argument, but yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but I just need to sit back. Okay, anyways, her second claim explained how RF can damage vital functions in living organisms, and so her provided evidence to support this claim, although reliable, was 27 years old. And then having older evidence and sources diminishes the argument and the fact that it's not as recent to what new research could bring to you. Her evidence was from the 90s, and it talked about RF from phones in the 90s. And phones have changed, if you have realized. Remember the Nokia that you can't break? And now that we have iPhones, that can take pictures better than some cameras. Can I sit down?
Well, of course, it's not a prison. Oh. Well, I didn't see that was coming. She appears to have been upset about her performance here, so.
Nice topic.
It was really challenging. I feel like it was way too difficult for like facts.
I wish I would have done
Yeah. Really? I mean, it's really interesting, but it was like, yeah, I definitely like it. Last night, no, I think it was, yeah, I really don't think my time. Yeah, the first outline I sent out, I can send you back. I just wish I did something much more simple than stressful.
Oh, she could concentrate.
I wish I just did something really basic.
She had it twice. I saw her paper. Yeah.
Well, I like that.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what happened. You know, I'm gonna make a couple of comments because she might like to have those comments later on. So even though she's not here, I do want to say a couple of things. There are a couple of places where it sounds like what's happening is there's a critique of the argument rather than a refutation of the argument. The best part of the speech, I think, is the suggestion that there are a variety of exposures to radio frequencies that don't really just come from cell phones, and that the fact that radio frequencies might have an effect on human beings is perhaps not well demonstrated. I think that this would be one of those places where you could take all of the cell phones that are being talked about and all of the other sources of radio frequencies that she mentions as maybe alternate causalities, and say, and what measurable effect do we have as a result of these exposures? Is there any, can we detect any higher level of cancer? Do we have any higher levels of other chronic illnesses or diseases that people suffered more as a result of this? If we look at trends over time, you could see, for instance, that generally our life expectancy has increased, our ability to respond to disease has gotten better, people die less frequently from a variety of cancers than they did once upon a time. And so the trend's been going in the opposite direction despite the fact that radio frequency exposure is higher. So there's a good general argument to be made here on this issue, plus the notion that it's not just limited to cell phones. I did like the fact that she picked out some information that suggested that this research is fairly old, and it may be dealing with phones that are different in nature. For example, they might be better shielded, they might have built-in buffering on the radio frequency. I don't know. There might be some information on that that's available, but that would have to be developed a little bit. Sometimes, like I said, it sounds like a critique. She suggests, here's how you could have made your argument stronger, which is not really the point of this assignment. That's what the peer evaluation was for. The refutation argument is to explain why the argument is wrong. There's supposed to be a controversy, so let's have the controversy on this particular point. And so we missed that a little bit in this argument. And I'm sorry that she was upset with her performance. I thought she was doing okay, and I hope that she'll come back and talk to us. All right, thank you.